Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Tonight is luxury night in the sanctuary. And I've got this healing planned in 4 sections. And that's so that we can get a full covering of luxury tonight. So the 4 sections that I'm going to be working on for the sanctuary are you're deserving of luxury. That's the first part. The second part is permission to have luxury. The third part is any limits that are in your luxury space. And then the fourth part is learning how to own your luxury. So I'll give you an example of owning luxury. I had a student a number of years ago who mocked up a Mercedes for themselves, and they got their Mercedes, but 2 weeks later got in a really bad accident and the car got totaled. And what that has to do with is not being able to own your mock-up once you get it. So I'm going to clean that space out. That'll be the last space that I clean out tonight, is your ability to own the mock-up once you actually bring it in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to set the energy for the sanctuary with a prayer. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity, that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to get started, and I'm working off a composite of everybody in the sanctuary. And whether you're here live tonight or not, you're still getting healing if you're a member of the Soul Support Sanctuary. So let me begin with deserving of luxury. And the very first energy that there's a lot of is invalidation, like a disbelief that you can have luxury, and also disappointment from things that you wanted to have as luxurious but didn't work out the way that you wanted them to. So it has a lot to do with not getting mock-ups back the way that you want them. This is a very grainy, rusty orange energy coming out. And behind it is a lot of energy like helplessness, feeling helpless to create luxury, like there's nothing you can do about it. There's some mother's energy in there that needs to be cleaned out. That's a green. I see what that is. That is from the female lines in your family, your female line, and the programming for women to not possess much, to not own much. That's why the mother's energy is in there. I'm taking that out. I'm seeing a lot of old energy being lit up, and it has to do with, I think maybe this thing I just said, but I'm seeing a little bit more of it about a woman's inability to own possessions. And I'm looking on the timeline and how far back that goes, and clearing that energy. And it's so interesting to see, because what I'm seeing is that the reason a lot of times women didn't own things was because their creative energy was programmed to have children. And so that's where a lot of the creative energy went into, is creating children. There's a lumpy white energy coming out right now of your deserving luxury. Okay, this is other people's opinions of you, and whether they believe you deserve to have luxury or not. So this is a lot of judgment that I'm working on. That's that lumpy white energy. And this layer is actually quite thick. People have no shame about their opinions. And so there's plenty of opinion to go around. And what I find amusing is when I look at people who are judging you or have an opinion about you and how much luxury you can have, it looks like it's based upon their own limitations of what they believe they can have in the way of luxury. And in general, I see the energy in the sanctuary as being rather humble when it comes to luxury. And I want to remind you all that that's part of your natural spiritual state, is to be abundant and to be able to create on a grand scale in the body that you created this lifetime. So it's actually part of your inherent soul energy, is to be abundant and fruitful and be able to enjoy luxury. So I just wanted to remind you of that, because I see a lot of humility in this space. And then there's a lot of competition amongst siblings. So if you have siblings, I'm going to be clearing out their competition from your space about how much luxury you can have. Yeah, that space of sibling competition is one of the most charged places where I'm finding um, foreign energy, and you're deserving of luxury. Good. Your deserving energy has come up to a really smooth orange gold. So that space looks good right now. I'm going to fill it in with a gold sun. Okay. So the next space is permission. And theoretically, you should be giving yourself permission to have luxury. But what I'm going to do is check to see if there are other people that are senior to you in that space and help you clear the energy. The two most prominent people in this space are mom and dad. So I'm going to be working on helping you call back your seniority from both parents when it comes to permission to have luxury. So I'm going to start with the dad. And one of the first energies I see as I help you call your energy back and help you separate your energy from your dad is the dad's, I guess I would call it ego, and where they don't want to be shown up by their children as where they get maybe insulted that the child can create more luxury than they have. So that's some of the energy I'm working on right now. It's another way of saying family competition. It's all relatives. There's so many pictures in here about a father not wanting their child to surpass them. A lot of competition in this space. When this gets cleaned out, the energy in your space comes up to a really pretty opalescent vibration, lots of like sparkling color. Yeah, that makes a big difference because now I can actually see your vibration of luxury, and it's sparkling like a cut crystal vase or something when the light bounces off of cut crystal and you can see all the different colors in the prism of light. Okay, now I'm going to work with you to separate your mom's energy out of your permission space. And moving your mother's permission or non-permission, I'll say, out of your space is much more of a heart chakra clearing than the father's energy out of your space. That was more of like a third chakra clearing. This is more heartfelt with the mother. And the main thing that I see here is safety, is that's like the number one issue or emphasis that the mothers have on whether you create luxury or not, is whether or not what you're creating is safe for you or not. And more so than the dad's, the mother's energy is like coming more from a space of worry about what the consequences of creating luxury might be to you. This all has to do with who and where you get permission from to create luxury. So there are a lot of qualifications coming from the moms. There's a lot more scrutiny over what is trying to be created on a luxury level than the fathers. There's this mango colored energy coming out, like when a mango is nice and ripe and it's that really pretty orangish red. And that's coming out of your permission space. And that has to do with people who overtly try to stop you from creating luxury. Okay, now that I've made separations, or I should say, now that you've made separations from the parents, I want to help you collect your seniority back from them. So, calling your seniority back from your dads, you're actually getting some of your certainty back, which translates into confidence in the body once it actually comes down into the body. And that's a really pretty medium blue energy. And then with the moms, when you call your seniority back from the moms, it comes back as almost a lime green, kind of a spring green, lime green. And there's a lot of permission for new things and taking risks, because remember, the moms were all about safety. So if you give that up because of the mom's non-permission for creating luxury, then when you clean all that up, you get that back. So there's a lot of like fresh new ideas coming in and fresh permission to create luxury the way that you want to create it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to limits, and I want to clear the energy that creates limits for you in your luxury. Well, you know how I love to bag on bosses. So I'm going to bag on bosses right now. Bosses love to exert control over your finances and your pictures about what you can create with your paycheck. So I'm going to be clearing bosses out of this space of limits. And largely what I see as I go to clean bosses' energy out, and this is why I bag on bosses, is because a lot of times they demand your creative energy. And that's what I'm seeing here is where your energy, the demand for your energy is for the business, whatever your hat is that you wear at business, whatever your tasks are, there's so much demand in your space for that creative energy that doesn't allow much left over for you to create luxury for yourself. The next space that I'm looking at has to do with um, I'm trying to think of how to say this, like unrecovered mock-ups or mock-ups that didn't really come through. And for limits, it has to do with stuff getting backed up in your creative process so that new stuff can't come in. It's all part of the cycle of creating and destroying, and where we need to go into the creative process and start to destroy is a strong word, but to take out old mock-ups that are no longer viable mock-ups that are just kind of lingering in there. So that's the next thing that I'm going to work on. Good. I am very happy to say this is clearing pretty easily. Everybody's in agreement to getting rid of this energy. There's a lot of energy when it comes to limits for your luxury that that says stuff like, well, why do you need something luxurious? Why not just get something that will get you by? Why not get the same item that's just regular and not luxurious? And to me, that's sort of a destroy energy. And I want to take that out and show you where you're holding on to that so you can release it. Because again, I just want to remind you that having abundance and luxury is actually part of your natural spiritual state and what you're entitled to as a being. And so that energy of trying to dummy down your mock-ups, that's what I want to get out of there. Then what I'm going to do now is kind of work your havingness gauge for luxury. So your havingness gauge is a way to measure what you're capable of having or owning. And I'm going to take a look at that in a gauge and clear out the energy that gets between you and your ability to have luxury. So much competition, so much competition. It's like solid white energy coming out. And it's competition from a lot of sourpusses, people who are just sour grapes and who have difficulty creating luxury for themselves and just want to run that destroy energy through others. There's a lot of dark, heavy energy coming out of the havingness gauge. Oh, somebody forgot to turn their phone off again. I'm sorry. So one of the big things that I see that gets in the way of owning your mock-up is beings, like destroy beings, like snakes. So I'm going to do a little clearing right now on the beings that can get in that space. And this kind of goes back to when I was looking at the family energy. It looks to me like just about everybody has at least one family control being that is meant to keep one person in the family kind of at the top. And if you're not that person, then your limits are affected and your ownership of mock-ups are going to be affected. So I'm working on that right now. And I was just cleaning out what I would call the family hierarchy of who's allowed to have luxury and who isn't. And so there's a hierarchy in every family, like there's a pecking order and a hierarchy. And I'm trying to neutralize that for you. Good. I know this is working, and I'll tell you how I know this is working is because all of a sudden, everybody in the sanctuary just got excited. Like the energy just bounced up. And that was a good clearing just now. And now I'm going to ask Supreme Being to come in and give you a healing on ownership. And I'll just tell you what I see happen. A lot of past lives are being re-shown to you to remind you of some of the wealth, riches, and luxury that you've already created in previous bodies. And each one of you is being shown a body in which you created luxury to a great extent, and a body where you got stuck in not being able to create luxury. And the healing has to do with the lifetime where you got stuck. I'm watching that energy get cleared. Um, it's interesting to me that you spirits out there in female bodies are having a little bit of a tougher time with the ownership of luxury than spirits in male bodies. And I think that has to do with the socializing and the pictures that we get socialized with. But then in the spirits in male bodies, their challenge is in learning how to make separations from their fathers and being able to create luxury separate from their father and their father's pictures. So each one of us has our own special challenges. Good. There's a beautiful bright gold coming into the space of your ownership of luxury. I'm just going to make sure that whole space gets filled in. As part of the healing that Supreme Being was giving you on ownership, what I saw at the end was where Supreme Being moved your attention up into your crown, because that's where you're going to create your ownership, is being able to be up in your crown chakra, your highest chakra up here, and kind of sit in that chakra. And that's where your ownership lives of luxury. And that energy is being brought into your crown chakra right now of ownership of luxury. All right. Supreme Being is filling you in with a big gold sun. And a lot of encouragement to dream big. That was what I heard at the end is, think and dream big. Don't limit yourself. So that was very exciting. All right, I'm going to close out that healing. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this luxury healing tonight in the sanctuary be complete. Amen. Okay. I am a little unprepared. I don't have my calendar. Let me see if I can pull it up real quickly without keeping you waiting for too long. I'm trying to think. Nope, apparently I can't. I'm back. As you can see, I'm back up in Northern California at my mom's. And so I always have a little bit of technical issues because I'm on different equipment and everything's a little different here. So let me go back and see, I'm trying to get just a regular calendar up, but the internet here is really lame because it's out in the hills. So I guess I'm not going to be able to look at my calendar. I'm sorry about that, but I will send you the notice out. We sent out the April list of classes. I know next month is the astral body healing, which is my special for the month, is the astral body healing. And the class that we have for April coming up for women's, excuse me, women's intuition is called How to Set the Energy of a Room. And I'm going to teach you pretty much what we do in a house healing so that you can go through your own house. We're going to start with the bedroom, the master bedroom, and do a really thorough clean out so that you'll learn how to clean out and own a room and or your house by the end of the class. So you can do your own house healing if you want. So that's kind of what's coming up. I know there's two different women's meditations coming up next month. So I hope you'll just go back and look at the mailer, and we'll be sending the mailer out again because it comes out a couple times a month. And thank you very much for joining me for the luxury healing tonight. And I will see you soon. I am so sorry I can't tell you exactly when, but it will be soon. Go look at the mailer, or you can go online to karinfogerty.com and find the calendar and find our events. All right. Thank you very much. Got my eyes on you. Have a great night tonight. Bye-bye.